Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Today, we are going to talk about how you can make your own altar, okay? Or how you can build it, okay? Now, you can search online, including YouTube, and you're going to find all sorts of very intricate and simple altars, okay? Obviously, online it's a lot easier to find them because you've got a lot of shops that sell all sorts of and types of altars, okay? You've got like very intricate tables. You've got I don't know, some of them they might have seats involved. It is, creativity is just something amazing. And you're going to find very elaborate altars and very simple ones, very basic ones. It just depends on what you want from an altar. Obviously, also, it depends on how much you've got to spend, to create, to make an altar. You don't need a lot. You can, just look at, for example, if you think of your ancestors, imagine that like they didn't have access to shops, whether physical or online, where they could get crystals and stones and I don't know, all sorts of things. No, they would use what they had around them, okay? So a lot of it was like all natural, very natural things. And the more natural an altar is, in theory, the better it is. Well, there might be a whole debate about it, but so yeah, like they didn't use that. They might not have used that many things. They might have been a lot simpler things. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of how you can build your own altar. Okay, like I said, like it can be as simple or as complicated as you want to. Okay. So first things first, I think is essential for an altar to be represented by 4 elements. Well, 5 elements, but I'll leave the 5th for the end. Okay? Then I'll let you know what the 5th is, obviously. So, first element, there's no order here. Air. So what can represent air in an altar? Okay. Incense is a good example. So whether incense sticks, incense cones, or the loose, grainy incense like myrrh, where you put like on a hot coal disc, right? You can find these coal discs and loose incense online, in spiritual shops. If you happen to have a physical shop around you or where you live, and they sell these, great, get it from there. Okay. What else? So that's air. Okay. Any type of incense will do for air. Water. Obviously, this one is extremely obvious. A glass of water. Okay. Now, I would suggest either a clear glass or a white glass, a white cup. Okay. The water can be tap water. Just make sure it's clean, okay? But I use mostly filtered water, okay? It's purer than tap water, but if you happen to have very good quality tap water where you live, use that, okay? Now, with the glass or the cup, it doesn't have to be like a pint glass, okay? If you only have like a pint glass, don't fill it up with water. You don't have to, okay? I would say half, okay? If it's a big cup or big glass, half of it, okay? That's enough. Don't put like only a finger or two, just a little bit. No, that is not, so you don't waste that much water. No, that's not going to be good. So fill it up. Well, make it at least half, okay? You don't have to really fill it up to the top, okay? So like I said, like either a clear glass or like a see-through glass, or just a white glass or cup in this case, okay? So that's water. To represent earth, you can have one of two things or both, okay? On my altar, I've got both. And that is crystals and stones, okay? Now, you can choose which ones you want to. Currently on my altar, I've got ocean jasper, very heavy one. And I've got a selenite tower, okay? You can have stones as well. Whatever stones you want. It could be like something that you like. It could be something that if maybe one of the person who passed away or maybe liked, you know, something, it was like their favorite or favorites. Why not? If you know that, if you have that kind of information. The other thing to represent earth, a plant or a flower. Again, it doesn't have to be a huge vase, a huge plant or a huge flower. It doesn't have to be a specific type of flower or type of plant. It can be anything, as long as you take care of it, okay? If you're going to use a live plant or flower, make sure you water it, make sure you take care of it, okay? Now, there are plenty of plants out there, especially plants, that don't need that much care, don't need that much attention. If you leave them on their own, they'll be fine, they'll survive, they'll thrive even. If you feel like, oh, I forget a lot to water the plants or whatever, then by all means get one that doesn't need that much care and attention, okay? But keep an eye on it, obviously. When it comes to a flower, same thing, okay? Now, there are people that use plastic ones, plastic plants and flowers. They're fine. Obviously, they're plastic. You don't need to do anything, you know, but probably dust them every once in a while. I use both. I've got a live, real plant, and I've got a plastic one. It's probably preferable to use a live one, okay? But if you can't or if you don't want to, that's fine. You can use a fake one, a plastic one, okay? Now, obviously, there's a lot of people out there who say, do not use anything fake or plastic. Look, this is spirituality, so there's no real right or wrong, okay? It's very personal. So, and not everyone does the same thing. Otherwise, you would kind of be boring, okay? So, if you prefer plastic ones, fake ones, go ahead and do it, okay? I do it. I use both. So, It's up to you. Okay. What's the other one? The fourth element is fire. Obviously, this one is quite obvious as well. Candles. Okay. Now with candles, you can use a normal dinner table candle, whatever that is. Okay. You can use one of those church candles. Okay. So you've got they're either white or yellowish, and they're usually encased in red plastic, in like a red cup with a metal, like a golden brassy top on top of it, on the candle. You can use those, or you can use tea light candles. They work perfectly. I use tea light candles every day for my altar. Okay. On special occasions, like someone's birthday or when they passed, anniversary, whatever that is, or if I need some help, some extra help from my ancestors, I use a proper candle. It could be any candle. It could be one of those block candles, quite big. Obviously, they're going to last longer. You can snuff them, right? You can snuff them out. If you don't want to leave the candle burning 24/7, you can just, like, during the day, by the time you're going to bed, you can snuff it, right? So yeah, any type of candle will do. The other element, which is the fifth element, and this one is very important, is the spirit. Now, how do you get the spirit on an altar? Well, the spirit can be represented in so many ways, but if you happen to have, for example, a photo or photos of the person or the people who have passed away, whether you knew them in life or you didn't know them, that helps. That's the spirit element. Okay, so they are represented by those photos. If you don't have any, maybe you've got something that used to belong to them, right? So you can leave that on the altar, so that it's kind of like representing their spirit. If you don't have any of that, any of their belongings, you can just use yourself. So, like, spend some time at the altar every day. It doesn't need to be a minute, 5 minutes. It can be just seconds. You can say a prayer, okay, or just a few words. Doesn't need to be a prayer, just a few words. Every day, when you light up the candle, you change the water. Make sure you change the water every day. That's another thing. Make sure you change the water every day. And yeah, just a few words, a prayer, whatever that is, and that could be the representation of spirit. Okay. That's what I've got to say about an altar, about building your own altar. There's one last thing. There's people that say you should have like a white cloth on top of the surface that you're going to use as an altar, and then you put all of those items on top of the cloth. Okay, so all of those items are kind of like the white cloth kind of like serves as a protector, okay, of anything negative, from anything negative, any energies, and plus, white light, love, and all that. So you don't have to do it if you don't have one, and if you've got any, doesn't need to be anything fancy. Any white cloth will do as long as it's clean. Okay, make sure it's clean, and that's it. Make sure you take care of your altar every single day and clean it up. If you want to change a few things, change them. It's up to you. Thank you very much for being here once again. I hope you enjoyed this information, this video, and I only ask you 4 things. So if you can like the video, if you can comment down below, share it. Oh, sorry, that was an alarm. Sorry about that. If you can share it, and if you can subscribe, I would be very appreciated. Okay. Thank you once again for taking your precious time to be here with me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.